Good morning all. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayiniim Ambatvamanusantatthami Bhagavad-gīte Bhavadveshiniim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Phullaravindayada Patranetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrtaduhe Namah Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanah Partho Vatsas Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahad Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadronatata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilopala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Magara Duryodhana Vartini Sottirna Ghalu Pandavai Hirananadi Kaivartaga Keshavah Parasharya Vachas Sarojam Amalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nana Akyanaka Kesaram Harikadha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradham Sinasreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marudastunvam Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangabadakramapanishadair Gayandeyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyandiyam Yogino Yasyandam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om. Good morning and namaskaram to all. So we have been discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in the 13th chapter and we have completed up to verse number 19. So from 20th we will continue. Before that we will 19th one time we will just go through. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidhyanadi Ubhavapi Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavanam. Know that Prakriti and Purusha, both Prakriti and Purusha, are without any beginning, Anadi, Vidya Anadi. And also know that all the modifications and gunas, all the modifications means, what do you mean by modification? All the changes that is happening, all the changes that is happening is to the Prakriti, and this Prakriti is Trigunatmika. Okay, all the gunas, it is because of the presence of gunas that all the objects are separate. Okay, all the objects, the individuality is because of the percentage of the sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. So it is the gunas that make the objects unique. Okay, in that way. One second. So all the gunas, the gunas belong to the Prakriti or objects, and because of the presence of the gunas, each one is unique. And yeah, this we have discussed some of the gunas etc. in the 5th and 6th slokas of this chapter, right? They differentiate 5th and 6th. We already did those verses last class also. We chanted that again. Yes. So we'll continue from the 20th verse. So 19th verse says that Prakriti and Purusha are without beginning, and also you know, Arjuna, that all the changes that is happening is only to the Prakriti. 20th verse. We will continue from the 20th verse. Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Hetu Ruchyate. One more time. Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Hetu Ruchyate. What does this mean? Purushaha. Okay, we'll discuss about the roles of this Purusha and Prakriti. Okay, what is the, we know that the Prakriti means the Shakti. Prakriti means it is the Shakti of Bodham or consciousness or Brahman. So Prakriti means Maya Shakti. We call it Maya Shakti. It is the Shakti of Bhagavan only. It is the Shakti of Purusha. And these two are always together only. Okay, Prakriti and Purusha are never separate. They together they create this whole universe. So in the 26th verse, which is going to come, okay, in the 26th verse, Bhagavan says, Yavat Sanjayate Kinjit Sattvam Sthavara Jangamam Kshetra Kshetraknya Sanyogad Tadvidhi Bharatarshabha. Yavat Sanjayate Kinjit Sattvam Sthavara Jangamam Kshetra Kshetraknya Sanyogat Tadvidhi Bharatarshabha. What it says? Only with the togetherness or the connection between the Kshetram and Kshetraknyan, because of this Kshetram and Kshetraknyan, they are together, the world appears as it appears. The world appears as it appears. It is because of the presence of both Prakriti and Purusha together. Okay, so it is the Maya Shakti is also required for this to appear, and the presence of Purusha also is required to appear for the world the way it appears to the individuals. So it is because of the togetherness of both the Kshetram and Kshetrajnam. This Bhagavan clearly says in 26th verse, Yavat sanjayate kinjit sattvam sthavara jangamam. Anything that is moving, anything that is unmoving, all of that is because of the Sanyogad of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Hey Arjuna, know this fact that Kshetra and Kshetrajna Sanyogam is necessary for the world to appear. Okay. So now here, this Prakriti, we will discuss what is this Prakriti. This Prakriti can be divided into two. One is Karyam, other one is Karanam. Effect, that is Karyam, and cause, the Karanam. So this Karyam and Karanam, when we divide, see all the objects of this universe, that is like say mountain, the rivers, okay, the buildings that you see, the people around that everyone sees, the humans, the animals, the plants, they are all objects. The mobile phone, the TV in front of you, or the computer in front of you, all of that, they are the objects. Okay, they are called the Karyam. They are the Karyam. That is all the gross bodies that you see here. All that gross is Karyam. What are they made of? We already know. It is all made of Panchabhutas only. Akasham, Vayu, Agni, Jalam, Prithvi. These are the 5 big elements. These 5 big elements in its subtle form, Sukshma Rupam, in its Sukshma Rupam, they are the Indriyas, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Yeah. So when these 5 big elements in their subtle form, they are called, or they are the Indriyas. And when this Sukshma, when they combine, okay, when they combined with certain proportions, they form Sthula or gross space. We already discussed, this is called Panchikaranam, grossification. In one of the talks we discussed it in detail, 1 or twice we have discussed. So because of the Panchikaranam, the gross space, the gross Vayu, air, the gross Agni, gross water, and gross Prithvi, they are formed. When these gross 5 big elements combine in with certain proportions, we get the whole objects of this universe, the mountain, the rivers, and the human being, body, this, that, all of the things that you experience with your 5 sense organs, they are called Karyam. And this Karyam is a Prakriti Karyam. It belongs to the Prakriti. Okay, don't forget this. It belongs to the Prakriti. Then, what is this Karanam? Karanam is, see, with how do we experience this Karyam? Okay, how do we experience this Karyam? Because of our sense organs. So the sense organs, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham, right? The 5 sense organs. We have the ears, Shabdam, and eyes to see, and skin to touch. We know that. I am not going to discuss in detail. So these 5 sense organs are the ones which is experiencing the objects of this world. Okay, and so Karya, and these are the Karanams. Now this Kartrutvam, what is the verse says? Karya Karana Kartrutve. So the Kartrutvam, what is the Kartrutvam? Kartrutvam is this Ahankara. I am the doer factor. So one who is doing it, the Ahankara, when the Ahankara mixes or along with Purusha, not mixing, along with the Purusha, okay, the Purusha that is the Kshetrakyan with ahankara. When it associates with ahankara, it is enjoying. Enjoying what? Enjoying the sukham and dukkham, enjoying the pleasures or experiences, all of this. These together is called karya karana kartrutvam. So karyam means the objects of this world, including this body, everything, all the gross things that you experience here is the karyam. Karanam, again, see, in one way this karanam also is karyam only, or they are not different, to understand this way, because with what we are experiencing, what is the karanam with which we are experiencing? The sense organs. See, think carefully. So the karanam is the sense organs, and what is this sense organs made of? It is made of the 5 big elements only, panchabhutas only. So the panchabhutas, panchamahabhutas, they in their subtle form, they are the karanam. Okay, and when the ego, the ahankara and the mind and the intelligence put together, okay, it is the kartrutvam. So the karya karana kartrutvam, the whole sanghadam is what is the prakriti. Okay, so clear? So the karya karana kartrutvam together we can call it 13 elements. You can see 13 parts are there. What are the 13 parts? And okay, kartrutvam, the ahankara is coming, right? With the ahankara, with what we do the actions, we do actions with the karmendriyas. These karmendriyas are also the subtle forms of the 5 big elements only. Okay, so what are the things? Jnanendriyas, totally if you take, these are the 13 parts. Jnanendriyas 5, karmendriyas 5, then the mind is there, and the intelligence, the buddhi, and the ahankara, I am the doer. These 13 together in subtle form as well as in gross form together is the prakriti. Okay, is that clear? So the jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, the mind, okay, the thoughts, whatever, the mind, and the deciding factor, the decision maker, that is the intelligence. Mind only just sankalpa, it just goes on imagining things. Whatever is coming, imagining. If I say something, if I say cat, the mind imagines a cat. If I say elephant, the mind imagines an elephant. This is what is the mind does. Mind just goes on, whatever you hear, whatever you smell, or even if you don't smell or this thing, in the mind you can imagine anything. Okay, but the intelligence decides what to think, what not to think, etc. The intelligence. So then the ahankara. Ahankara is the ego. The ego, I am, I am doing. So the identification with the body, etc. And I am doing this, I am waking up, I am talking, I am listening. Okay, so all these, the ahankara, I am doing, I do this factor is the ahankara. All these put together belong to the prakriti. And how about the purusha? The purusha, even though the purusha is free, okay, the purusha is free, but this purusha, this kshetrakyan or this atma, when it reflects in the mind, okay, this reflected consciousness or the reflected kshetrakya, okay, it is called Chidabhasa in the Vedantic terms. Vedanta, it's called Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is reflected consciousness. The consciousness which reflects. That means the presence of Purusha in the form of a reflection, it says, I am the doer. Okay. So here what is the second line says? Purushaha Suga Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Heturuchyate. That is the Hetu. What is the Hetu? Hetu means the reason. The reason is, the cause is when the Purusha says I am as a reflected consciousness, I am the doer. So originally what is this reflected consciousness? Consciousness only is the truth. Whereas the reflection, the Chidabhasa, when it combines, when it says I am the doer, that means indirectly it says that it mixes with the Prakriti. When it combines with the Prakriti, it says I am the doer, I do, I see, I smell, I taste, etc. So this presence of Purusha is necessary. Now you remember the previous verse. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavavi Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavane. One more verses we said, no? 26th verse. Yavat Sanjayate Kinjit Sattvam Sthavara Jangamam Kshetra Kshetraknya Sanyoga Tadvidhi Bharatarshava. Same, that is what is explained here itself. That is the presence of both Purusha and Prakriti. When the Purusha, when it reflects in the mind and says I am the doer, I am doing this, this is the reason, this is the hetu for Sukha Dukkam. The experiencer, okay? Who is the experiencer now? The reflected consciousness is the Chidabhasan is experiencing everything, right? So the Chidabhasan, the reflected consciousness, that is the Jiva, okay? That is the Jivan which experiences the Sukham and Dukkham. So all the experiences of this pleasure and pain, the hetu is Purusha. Now you understand why the Purusha is experiencing. Only Purusha can experience anything. Okay, so without the presence of Purusha, no experience, because the Indriyas are Jadam. They are just instruments. They cannot experience anything. The Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham, etc., the ears, the eyes, nose, etc., these Indriyas cannot experience anything if there is no presence of this Purusha. So only Purushan's presence, that is the Kshetraknya's presence, through the Prakriti, it can experience the pleasure and the pain. Okay, and all of this Prakriti is continuously changing. So don't forget all the lessons earlier. It is constantly, it is changing. It goes on changing. All the instruments are changing. The mind is changing, but the Purusha never changes. Right? So again, coming back, Karya Karana Kartrutve Heduhu Prakritiruchyate. Okay, the Karyam, Karanam, etc. We explained all the objects of this world, and with what we are experiencing, or with what we are seeing these objects, the sense organs, Karya Karana Kartrutvam, and with the Ahankara, I am the doer. Together, Hetuhu is Prakritihi Uchyate. It is the Prakriti is the cause of all these, and Purushaha Sarva Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Heturuchyate. So the Bhokta, the experiencer, is the Purushaha which reflects in the mind as reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa. So originally what is it? Originally it is the consciousness only. Understand? Only the consciousness only. The instruments cannot experience anything. Indriyas, they are the products of Prakriti. It cannot, it is Jadam, it is matter. Prakriti is matter. Matter cannot experience. Only the Purusha can experience. This much we understand from these two verses. Okay. So the samsara is that only. The samsara is what? This Sukha Dukkham, experiencing the pleasure, pain, and this goes on from Janma to Janma. This cycle goes on. This experience we call it as samsara. Okay. So then the question is, when the Purusha is ever free, we say Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupam it is. How it gets the delusion of samsara, how it is getting the delusion of samsara and getting this trouble. That is what Bhagavan answers in the next verse, 21st verse. Purusha prakritistohi bhunkte prakriti jair gunan Karanam gunasangasya gunasangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. One more time. Purusha prakristho bhunkte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. Once again. Bhunkte prakritijan gunan. Correct. The Purusha, when Purushaha Prakritistaha, Purushaha Prakritistaha means seated in Prakriti, Purushaha he, indeed it is the Kshetrajna only, who is the seated in Prakriti is Purushaha. Purushaha he Prakritistaha, Prakritijan, those belong to the Prakriti. Prakritijan means those which belong to the Prakriti and formed out of Prakriti. Okay, Prakritijan gunan. What are the gunan? Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunan. Sattva guna, that leads to pleasure, Tamo guna leads to moham, and Rajo gunan leads to dukkham. So Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunan in the form of sukham and dukkham bhunkte, experiences, enjoys. Who? Prakritistaha Purushaha hi. It is because of it is who is seated in Prakriti, who is seated in Prakriti as Purusha, who enjoys the sukham and dukkham bhunkte, experiences, sadasadyoni janmasu, by assuming bodies born out of Prakriti. The bodies, as we already discussed, the bodies are born out of Prakriti only. What bodies? The sad asad yonishu, means good and bad yonishu, and when in the wombs of good and bad wombs, and they form various bodies, Deva Asura bodies. Okay, and next what it says, Asya Gunasangam Karanam, the cause of their Sukham and Dukkham. Sukham and Dukkham of all these Jivas or this Purusha, who is Prakritistaha, who is seated in the Prakriti, Prakritijan Gunan, all the Gunas are belong to Prakriti, right? Asya Gunasangam Karanam. It is of the connection, or it is because of the Sanyogam or Sangam, attachment with the Gunas, this Purusha is having this pleasure and pain. And how they experience this pleasure and pain? Because through the wombs of good and bad wombs. Good wombs produce bodies belong to the Devas, and bad wombs produce gunas, produce bodies who are asuras. That is why good and bad, it says sadasat. What is that? Sadasadyoni janmasu. This is the janmas. Deva janma, asura janma, all that. Okay, all the janmas, so whether human being or animals or plants and devas, etc., anything for that matter. Okay, so these janmas are the reason. These janmas are caused for, because what is the reason? Because this Purushaha, who is Prakritistaha Purushaha, when they have the gunas, when they combine with the gunas, they have this. But Purusha originally is pure, is it not? Purusha is pure. See, this is like some mothers say, no, my son is very nice, he is a good boy, he is excellent when he is at home, when he is behaving with us and behaving this thing, he is very good, but only he has problem when he goes and, one second, yeah, when what happens is, when this boy, my son is always a very nice boy, he is very good, but when this boy, when he gets connected with the wrong people, wrong group, wrong gang, okay, when he with the wrong gang, he becomes bad. His behavior is very bad. He becomes alcoholic, and then he abuses people. Otherwise, he is a nice boy. This is something like that. This Purusha is ever free. But this ever free Purusha, when it combines or gets attached with the gunas, which is attached with the gunas, guna sangam. See, guna sangena clearly says karanam guna sangosya. Guna sangaha. It gets connected with the gunas. Gunas of what? Gunas of this prakriti. So when the Purusha himself or herself gets attached with the prakriti gunas, it starts bhungte, sukham, dukkham, etc. So to enjoy this sukham and dukkham, pleasure and pain, it has to take a form, and through the wombs of good and bad, they come out as asura, deva, manushya, mrigam, all that. Okay, so the reason is attachment with the gunas, attachment with the prakriti. It is because of the sangam with the gunas. Okay, so what to do? Now we have understood this. The problem is getting attached with the prakriti. The only thing that we have to do is getting disconnected with this prakriti only. How to disconnect it? Internally think about this. I am that Purusha, I am that Kshetrajna, I am not connected with the prakriti at all. Right? The gunas of the prakriti is not mine. It doesn't, I don't belong to the prakriti. I don't have any connection with the gunas. So we have to disconnect it. And what is this prakriti? Prakriti is all these bodies that you see. Right? So understand that my true nature is I am that Atma, I am that Brahman, I have no connection with this body. I have this body, we always say, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramitya Vidiyade. This body, this is not my body. I am not connected with this body. Correct? So this disconnection has to happen internally. This clear understanding will remove the Brahman, will remove the illusion, and the sukham and dukkham, it doesn't belong to me, because I am that Purusha which is ever free. It is not connected. But the Purusha, when it reflects in an impure mind, when this reflects in an impure mind, the Chidabhasa is the one who is experiencing all this. Whereas I, the Purusha, I am ever free. See, it is like, see the water. The water is pure, right? When this water is very pure, when it gets dirty, and when the sun reflects, the reflection of the sun in the dirty water appears to be dirty. Correct? Whereas the sun is ever free, is pure, it is not dirty. But when you look in a dirty water, it appears to be dirty. Similarly, the mind, which has got lot of impurities like raga and dvesha, like likes and dislikes, okay, craving and aversion, all that, when it's mixed with all these bhavas, then the Chidabhasa, the mind which says I am the doer factor, comes in, and it undergoes the sukham and dukkham. That is what we call it samsara. So what we have to understand, we have to realize that we are like the sun. I am the sun, or I am that Atma. I have no connection with the Prakriti. I am not connected with the water or dirty water. I am not connected with this water. I am not connected with this body. I am not connected with this Prakriti at all. That is the only way to transcend or cross from the clutches of this Prakriti. Prakriti is Maya. That is the only way. Okay, internally we have to understand this very clearly, that I am not this body, I am not this kshetram, I am kshetraknyaha. This is what. Then all other qualities, all the qualities of water that we put, the dirty and other things, they are the superimpositions. I am the body, and then I am born Brahmana, I am Kshatriya, I am this, I am rich, I am poor. These are the dirts that is there in the mind. I am rich man, I am poor man, I am intelligent, I can do this, I can do that, I have gained so much money, or I can, all of that. When I am an artist, this, that and all that. I am a human being, even that also is an adhyasam, right? I am man, I am woman, and that is different, this is different. All the differences are the properties of this Prakriti, whereas I am not this Prakriti, I am nowhere connected with this Prakriti, I am that Purusha. This clear understanding remove all the other superimposition, adhyasam, from our mind. While removing this, how to remove this? Bhagavan already said, amanitvam, adambitvam, etc. There are various, we have to drop all that pride in us. When we drop all this pride, naturally the consciousness, it shines forth, because it is all covered. The consciousness is covered. The Shanti, consciousness is Shanti. Shanti is the Swarupam of consciousness. This Shanti is covered by this Ragadveshas. It is covered by these likes and dislikes in the form of Prakriti and Prakriti Gunas. This body, all the bodies that we see around, this body, this Indriyas, the thoughts, the data that we have put inside us. Okay, all that, when we reflect this and that, we get attached to things, we get likes and dislikes in our mind, which covers the Shanti in us. We lose our original state of Shanti, which we experience every day in deep sleep. Okay, without the upadhi of a mind, without the medium of a mind and a body, the bliss that we experience in the deep sleep is a clear indication of a state that we get when we are in waking state. Also, it is a possibility. Okay, this is what Bhagavan says here. So, clear understanding. So, Srimad Bhagavata says, Prakristho Purushaha Najyate Prakritair Gunaihi Avikarat Akartritvat Nirgunatvat Jala Arkavat. Though the Purusha here means the Jivan. Okay, the Jivan is subsisting means getting support on Prakriti. He is unaffected by the Prakriti. The Purusha is unaffected by the Prakriti and its modifications. So, Prakristho Purushaha, even though the Purusha is seated in Prakriti, Najyate Prakritair Gunaihi, not getting affected by the Prakriti and its modifications. Gunaihi means all the modifications of this Prakriti. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas, not getting affected by the modification, just as the sun. Same like the sun, which is unaffected by the movements of its reflections in the water. Right? If there is a dirty water, as we discussed, the reflection also will be dirty. And if the water moves, the reflection also moves like this. The reflection of the sun moves, or the sun or moon, anything you take, when the water moves, that also moves. So it appears as if the Jivan also is in trouble. The Jivan is as if Jivan is affected, but Jivan is not affected. Right? The Jivan is originally, the reflected consciousness is, we call it Jivan, is originally sun only. Right? Originally it is the sun, it is not the reflection. So Chidabhasan, or the reflected consciousness, is only a reflection which does not have any real existence apart from the original. Understand this? Okay. So the Chidabhasan also is an ocean. Okay. The Sukham, Dukkham, etc. is a notion. It is only a Brahman. It is just a illusion. Delusion it is. There is no reality in it. If it is real, then Sugam should stay all the time, or Dukkham should stay all the time. It is not so. It is going up and down. A few moments of Dukkham, a few moments of Sukham. These are all the properties of the mind. You see, it is all the properties of the mind. It comes and goes. For what is the reason? The reason is connection with this Prakriti and its Gunam. And this connection is physical? No, it is the internally we have to disconnect. Physically you cannot, right? Internally we have to do the disconnection. Intellectually we have to disconnect this. How? Again and again we have to practice, and also we have to drop all the pride, the false pride in us, that I am this, I am that. That is the only and only solution, slowly and steadily. So Bhagavan continues with 22nd verse. 22nd. Upadrashta. See, 21st is clear, no? The 21st verse. Purushah prakritisto hi bhunkte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. When the Purusha seated in Prakriti enjoys the gunas born of Prakriti, attachment to the gunas becomes the cause of his birth in good and evil wombs. Okay, so attachment to gunas is the cause. The attachment to the gunas is the cause of birth in good and evil wombs. Good and evil womb means, as the jiva comes out with the body, it undergoes pleasures and pain. See, the more pleasure, you call it deva. The more sufferings, you can call it as an asura, like that. So it is a good and bad, evil, or good and evil wombs, like that. They take birth. It is because of the attachment to the gunas. We'll move to 22nd verse. Upadrashta anumantascha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmedi chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. Upadrashta anumantascha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. Before explaining this, let us see what is moksha? What is liberation? See, by this entanglement with the Prakriti, one who forgets his true nature and feels separated from Ishvara, one who appears to be separated, it's only appearance, there is no reality in it. Okay, the Jivan cannot, Jivan is Brahman, Jivan is Ishvara, but it appears that the Jivan is separated from Ishvara because of the Brahman. What is the Brahman? Because of the entanglement with the Prakriti. Then just we have to realize, this Jivan has to realize that I am not connected with this Prakriti, I am not separated from Ishvara, the Ishvara is what I am originally. So to realize this self, there are some methods given, methods told, jnanopayam, etc., right? Amanitvam, adambitvam, dropping all the false pride, which already we said in the previous verse. So removal of all the adhyasam, superimpositions, that I am this body and all the associated things with the body, that will lead to the realization of the self, by which Sukham, Dukkham, pleasure and pain is completely removed, and only what remains is Shanti, the peace, Antashhitalata. Yoga Vasishta says Antashhitalata. That Antashhitalata, the mind is never going up and down. Even with the pleasure, it jumps up, and with the pain, it drops down. That both never happens. The mind is at Shanti at all times. Right? That is the moksham. So this can be done through jnana abhyasam. We have to do some abhyasam, means some sadhanas has to be done. All the sadhanas are done for what? For removing the impurities of the mind. The mind is purified slowly. This kshetram, this body, is disconnected. Not physically, mentally disconnected, internally disconnected, slowly and steadily. Very slowly, shanai shanai ruparamed. Slowly and steadily, this disconnection happens, and then realizes that I am the self, I am that Purusha who is witnessing all that happening in this kshetram. Okay, so when one more time I will explain. When one is practicing this, slowly dropping off the pride, all the superimposition on us, I am the body, and along associated things, etc. When we do that slowly with proper understanding of my true nature, slowly and steadily, I start to see that I am that Purusha who is the witness to all that happening in the Prakriti, all that is happening in this body, and all that is happening around me. One who understands this way, one who is a witness, he is called Upadrashta. Okay, Upadrashta. Upadrashta means very closely seeing. Drashta means seeing, very closely seeing means witness. I am the witness consciousness. Sakshi Bhavam, Sakshi Chaitanya. This is the Sakshi Chaitanyam, we call it. Upadrashta is the word which is used here. Right? And I am not doing anything. I am only the witness. I am not doer. I am not the doer. I am only witness. See, in 5th chapter, there are 2 verses, 8th and 9th, 2 verses. Naiva kinjit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavid pashyan srunvan sprishan jigran asnan gachan shwapan shwasan pralapan visrajan grinhan unmishan nimishan napi indriyani indriyartheshu vartanda iti dharayan. Right? Naiva kinjit karomiti. I am not doing anything. Okay? All that, whatever, Pashyan, Srinvan, all that, Shabda, Sparsa, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham, all that we are experiencing with the sense organs, and also with the whatever karmendriyas that we are doing, all of that, I am not doing this. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartanda iti dharayan. The indriyas, the sense organs and the motor organs, when they come in contact with the arthas, means the objects of this world, they are doing it, I am not doing it. It is the swabhavam of the Prakriti. It is the Prakriti that is happening here around me. I am not the doer. Okay, this is the Sakshi Bhavam. This already Bhagavan explained there. Iti dharayan. This is the practice that one has to do. This is the practice. I am not the doer. I am that Purusha. I am the witness consciousness. This is the first Upadrashta. Then, when this practice is continued, that I am the Drashta, I am not the doer, this is when this is continued, one realizes, that person realizes that my presence and my permission is necessary for all these actions to happen. My presence is necessary and my permission also is necessary, because the Indriyas are under my control. Okay, not the other way around. I am not a slave to the Indriyas. Okay, Whereas the Indriyas are slave. They will do the way I want it. But I am not the doer. Right? I am not the doer. I am the witness consciousness, and in my presence only things will happen. Without my presence, nothing can happen. Right? Not a grass will move here without my presence. That is what Bhagavan says. So, without the consciousness presence, without my presence, because I am the consciousness, without my presence, nothing moves here. My presence is required, and I am the one who is giving permission. So, my presence and my permission also is necessary for all these actions to happen. One who realizes that all karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are ordered and instructed to do this karma. For what? For the benefit of others. Okay? See, this indriyas are put into use for the benefit of others. That is the swadharma. For the benefit of others. Why? Because I don't need anything. Because I am that Purusha. I am that Kshetraknyan. I am Satchidananda Swarupam. My happiness does not depend any of the objects here, including this body. That is Swarupa Anubhavam. Staying in Swarupa Anubhavam, just put this for the benefit of others. That is the Swadharma. That is the Swadharma that is happening when in peace. At all times you are in peace. That is staying in Swarupam. Staying in Swarupa Anubhava means staying in peace. Put the body and the organs, sense organs and motor organs to function it under my supervision. Under my supervision, I am the one who is ordering, and in my presence all of this happen. That is the word Anumanta cha Bharta cha. Who? Bharta. Bharta means husband, who has the control, of the house. Bharta. So, because under my control things happen here. That is the Bhagavan says, as Purusha, I am Upadrashta, I am the witness consciousness, Anumanta cha, the witness, the approver, okay, the upholder, Bharta, the upholder, and also Bhokta. Here Bhokta does not mean who is the enjoyer of the Vishayas. Vishaya Bhokta, it does not mean the Vishaya, etc. Not the enjoying with the sense organs, that pleasure and pain. No, not those pleasures, not that experience. Here Bhokta means Atma Anubhavam, Atma Ananda Anubhavam, who is in Swarupa Anubhavam, who is experiencing the Shanti. That is the Bhokta. And Maheshwaraha, right? Maheshwaraha is the Supreme Lord. Is the Supreme Lord. Maheshwaraha Paramatmeji chapyuktva dehe asmin purushah paraha. Paramatmedi. Who is the Paramatma here? The Atma which I realize in myself as Kshetrajna, which is only one. The same Atma is there everywhere. Is the same Atma which is there in all other bodies, all humans, all animals and plants, all the Sthavara Jangama, the mountains, the rivers, the galaxies, anything that is moving, non-moving, Charam, Acharam, all that, Sthavara Jangamam, everything, I pervade everything. I am the witness, I am the one who is ordering, I am the one who, in my presence only, everything is happening. Okay, so like that, who thinks? That is the Paramatma. Who is the Paramatma here? So Paramatmedi chabi uktaha. When Dehesmin Purushah Paraha, dwelling yet in this body. Okay, when dwelling in this body, this Jivan understands that I am Paramatma. I am Paramatma, I am Upadrashta, I am Anumanta, I am the Bharta, I am the Bhokta. Bhokta here is again, repeat, Bhokta is I am the one who is enjoying the peace. Ananda Swarupam I am. Not the enjoyer of this silly things, of the objects of this world, not the not Vishayanandam. It is the Brahmanandam we are talking here. Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmedi Chapyuktaha Dehesmin Purushah Paraha. Yet in this body dwells the Supreme Purusha, the most intimate seer, the witness, the approver, the upholder, the experiencer, and the Supreme Lord known as Paramatma, the Supreme Self. Okay, that is the meaning of this word. It's a beautiful verse, 13:22. Now we'll move to 23. Let us see. य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. See, birth and death, birth and death, it is an illusion. It is just an illusion. See, if you think carefully, think very sukshma, think carefully. By desiring, okay, can you be born? Is it possible to take birth as and when we want? And is it possible to die as and when we want? So, birth and death is not something that we can wish for, right? The only thing what we can do is birth and death. It happens to the body. We cannot wish the way we want to die or the way we want to take birth. It is impossible. The only thing we can do is we can have this illusion of birth and death. What do we call birth is only a modification, a change that is happening in the Prakriti, to the Prakriti. A change that is happening, we call it just a birth. We know that the Prakriti means it's just matter. And this matter is constantly changing from one form to another. Everything is made of 5 big elements and everything merges back into the 5 big elements and ultimately into the space. And where do the space appear? It appears in the consciousness. So the matter, the whole thing, the matter that we call as Prakriti is an appearance to the consciousness. And the changes that is happening to this matter, we somehow call it as birth and death. See, we know that everything is energy, right? So one form of energy is just converted into another form of energy, that's all. We know potential energy, we have heard kinetic energy, the heat energy, magnetic energy, or the electrical energy. There are so many forms of energy is there. The heat is there in our body as Vaishwanaraha, the temperature or the ability to burn the food, etc. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Mashrita. So like that, there are n number of kinds of energies are there. All this energy just converts from one form to another. When it does, somehow we have the illusion that there is birth, there is death, etc. Truly speaking, this change of one form to another is the cause of our wrong thinking that there is birth and death. Think about this. So here we have to understand that he who knows thus the Purusham and Prakriti, ya evam, whoever has described, explained above. So far, whatever we explained about Purusha and Prakriti, Purusham Prakritim cha, this Purushan and Prakriti, Gunai saha, the Prakriti along with its gunaha, Veti, as described means which is separate, right? Whoever has described, explained above, Purusham Prakritim cha, Gunaihi saha, one who understands this Purusha clearly, one who understands this Prakriti along with its gunas, Veti knows. Okay, here Veti does not mean just intellectual understanding. Here Veti means intellectual understanding along with assimilation of this knowledge in us. Veti means who realizes the self, who realized clearly, assimilated the knowledge that Prakriti, about Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is an appearance in Purusha. This understanding is assimilated. Saha Sarvatha Vartamanaha Abhi. Saha, that individual. Sarvatha, at all times. Vartamanaha Api, even when transacting in this world. Even when transacting in this world with this body, bhuyaha na abhijayate, never gets into the cycle of birth and death again. Now, na sa bhuyo abhijayate. Again, birth and death is not possible for that individual who understands the Purusha this way and understands the Prakriti with all its gunas, and who has assimilated this knowledge clearly in own life, understands the self the way, understands means realizes the self, saha sarvatha vartamanaha api, even now at this moment, one who realizes this, he transcends the birth and death. While he is called a Jivan Muktaha. Jivan Muktaha, living in this body but ever free. Okay, no birth and death is possible for such an individual. We will explain 23 again in our next class. Okay, we have crossed our time. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Harihi Om Tat Sat. Brahmarpanamastu.